That's right, everyone. It's the MVWF podcast with your host, Damian Andrews, and special co-host, Eddie Stank. All right, folks. I am Damian Andrews, and this is the MVWF podcast with your post-20th anniversary show podcast and some big announcements tonight. We are with Eddie Stank here. Eddie, you've got some big announcements tonight, don't you?
Yes, I do, Damian. I do.
All righty. Well, so why don't you go ahead and reveal all the news about the tournament?
Well, Eddie, I'm going to let you know that today is the announcement of the Super 32 tournament.
The Super 32?
Which will replace it will replace the B1 Climax this year.
Mm-hmm.
We have 32 competitors in brackets of 8 wrestlers per bracket. We'll meet in a round-robin tournament, single elimination, to decide who will get a title shot against the champion, Ryan Crawford.
Fantastic. And how are these people selected, and what is your approach to the bracketing?
Well, I took all 32 competitors. I put them in a randomizer, so there's no favoritism as far as matchups, and developed brackets based on quality and competition, per se.
Okay. But with the one caveat being that once those matches are selected, you have the complete authority in which events to place them in.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, depending on victors and such, yes. It will be built.
Okay. Why don't you give us a rundown, not necessarily the matches yet, but just run down the entire list of competitors that are in the tournament.
All right, so competing in this tournament, we have Arn Patrick, Nick the Destroyer, Ryan Crawford, Ron Supreme, Mr. Nightmare, Ron Awesome, Kyle Empire, Kid Christian, Uppercuts and Fisticuffs, Kenny Omega making a surprise appearance.
Yep.
Ryan Doyle, Little Bitch Ass, Skinny Wolf, Adrian Knight, Jimmy Controversy, the Shadow King, current tag team champion.
That's right.
His partner Honky Lips, Turbotron, Cube, Brandon Bones, Kevin Welch, Rock Holly, Whiteside, CM Punk making an appearance.
That's a big get for them. That's definitely a big get.
Yeah, returning from his 5-year hiatus.
That's right.
King Slender, local talent, Walker, AJ the Giant, and so on and so forth. I might have forgot somebody, but
okay,
Adrian Knight. So on.
Okay. All right. So before we continue on, we're going to go to the phones right now. We have a caller. Yes, caller, what do you have to say?
Yes, hello. Yes, this is Turbotron.
Oh, it's Turbotron.
Yeah, I'm calling in because I just want you to know I'm looking forward to being in the tournament. And I want everyone to know that I'm going to win the tournament. And I want everyone to know that kids don't do drugs.
Oh, all right, Turbotron.
Drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad.
Bad. Don't do them. God bless America. And good night.
All right, thank you, Turbotron. That was some informative stuff right there. Turbotron is one of the competitors that is in the tournament, is he not?
Yes, he is.
Okay. So, all right, so let's start off with the first event. Let's start with the undercard. What is the opening match in the Super 32 tournament?
Ironically, the opening match in the tournament will be Turbotron versus Giant Panther.
Okay. Intriguing matchup right there, I would say. Panther is a veteran. Turbotron has wrestled intermittently throughout some of the MVWF years. I mean, he was a late addition to Phase 1, but he's won most of his matches here. Yeah, he's pretty much... He's undefeated.
Yeah,
is he not?
I think it should be a good matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and match number 2.
Our next match will be the return of Cube.
Okay.
Versus MC Honky Lips.
All right. I don't know if they've ever wrestled before, but MC Honky Lips just won the Tag Team Championship with the Shadow King, who we'll talk about later. And, I mean, Honky Lips is on a roll right now. I mean, he is undefeated in Season 2.
Yes. He recently defeated one of the tag titles. The previous that beat up AJ the Giant in a tables match.
Yep. All right, and what is match number 3?
So in our co-headlining match, we have Fisticuffs versus the Commissioner, Brandon Bones.
Really? Now, that is interesting because I have made note of the fact since Season 2 started that Brandon Bones has been on his own the entirety of Season 2. That's how Kevin Welch and Ryan Crawford jacked him backstage. That 2-on-1 match that they had a couple months ago would have happened if Uppercut and Fisticuffs were around. But no one ever seemed to ask the question why. Why were they not around, and why are they only just now appearing here in this tournament to what? Face Brandon Bones and potentially eliminate him in the first round during, the most vulnerable time of his career? Brandon Bones is on a downswing.
Right.
And him and Fisticuffs have a lot of history.
Issue.
I'm sorry?
Apparently Fisticuffs has some issues with Brandon Bones.
Well, one would think, All right, we're going to go to another caller. Caller, what do you have to say? Hello, caller?
Hello? Hello?
Yes, caller.
Hey, yo. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, look.
Fuck.
I was thinking about, I don't know, but maybe, Eddie Stank, if you could, tell us, what are the rules going to be?
Yeah, tell your cat to shut the fuck up.
Is it going to be, disqualifications? There going to be count-outs? Is there going to be a time limit? I don't know, right? So what's it going to be?
Got an answer for that, Eddie Stank?
To be honest with you, Damien, I didn't hear a single thing you said.
The caller was asking specifically about the matches themselves. What are there time limits? What if there are time limits? What are they? Are there disqualifications? Countouts? If there are countouts, are they a 10 count or a 20 count? Are there rope breaks? Let's kind of hash this part out before we get to the main event of the first show. Disqualifications, yes or no?
As far as rules go, it's going to be a straight-up match. There's not going to be any restrictions. We're going to have your typical 20 count-out MVWF rules.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have the rope breaks. We'll have disqualifications. I think are not going to happen unless there's interference, but I don't believe that's going to happen.
Right.
So it's going to be a straight-up match.
Okay. Time limit.
I believe there's going to be a 30-minute time limit.
Keeping in mind too, if you really wanted to, I mean, you do have this option because I'm not using a tournament bracket to piece this together. But if you wanted to do an ascending order or whatever with longer time limits, the deeper you get into the tournament or whatever, that's also an option.
Right. Well, that would be discussed. I don't think those details have been officially hashed out yet.
Okay. Okay. And so, what is the main event of the first episode of the Super 32 tournament?
And then the main event for the first wave of matches will be Kevin Welch versus Rock Holly.
Oh my lord! Right there, that is a big time main event right there, especially now. Now, the contrast here is that this match would not have been the huge main event last year. But since Kevin Welch has taken that upswing this year, he's got a lot more credibility to spend now, but it's still against a guy who appears to be on something of a hot streak because he beat Brandon Bones last week. Rock Holly appears to be back in spite of all of his, accumulating injuries.
Yeah, he's found a new groove being a thrall of the Shadow King.
Absolutely.
It's revitalized him.
Yeah, that's He's definitely accepted the Shadow King as his Lord and Savior with arms and legs wide open. All right, we're going to go to a caller. Caller, what do you got to say? Hello? Oh shit.
Damien and...
Oh shit, wrong filter.
It is I, the Shadow King.
Can you hear him?
Vaguely.
On your podcast. Hello, Eddie Stank. How are you?
Eddie?
I don't care who you are.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
this the Shadow King?
It is I,
On
the
call?
Shadow King.
Yes, that's the Shadow King. He's
I
talking
have
to
every
you.
intention
Yeah.
of destroying everything.
You're gonna have to decipher for me.
Okay.
And going on to ruin everything for all of you.
The Shadow King wants to ruin everything for everybody.
The plan has already
okay.
taken fruition, and there's nothing that you can do to stop us. The tag team titles belong to us.
The tag team titles belong to them.
Control of the MVWF at the end of this tournament.
The end of the tournament, they take control.
belongs to us. And then, when I go on to win this tournament, I'll have you know, I will get myself a championship match against
Oh!
Crawford.
The Shadow King gonna give himself a title match once they take control of the MVWF. Eddie Stank, can you believe this savage controversy?
Well, I can see him doing it. It's the same move that Brandon Bones pulled when he was running it.
Well, I mean, Brandon Bones lost the match to Rock Holly. I mean, what the fuck?
I just wanted you to know
What, Master? What do you want me to know?
you are out of the League of Shadows.
What? I'm not out of the League of Shadows. I am the League of Shadows, you fucking bitch.
From my kingdom.
No, my kingdom too.
Peasant and die.
Well, I'm hanging up on the fucking Shadow King. The Shadow King is not going to come onto my fucking podcast, kick me out of the motherfucking League of Shadows, and then fucking tell me, like, I'm going to die? Well, fuck you, Shadow King. This isn't a hard decision. I didn't get paid very much being in the fucking League of Shadows. The League of Shadows, from Rock Holly to Honky Lips to the Shadow King, can suck Damian Andrews' fucking dick out through his fucking ball hole. You heard. Anyway.
Word.
All right, so...
Welcome back to the normal side.
Right, all right, so I'm hanging up on him. He's done. So, the second event, what is the first match?
So, in the second event, we're going to have the Shadow King fighting
Really?
against Jimmy Controversy.
Oh, my God! I mean, everything on paper right there screams that Jimmy Controversy is jumping into the mouth of a shark. But
You know what?
what if he does it?
Not surprising at all.
His name, he would finally live up to his name, Jimmy motherfucking Controversy, would he not?
It would be the biggest win of his career.
It would be the biggest gap in attribute points ever. It's like, it would even surpass fucking, like, local talent beating fucking Nick.
It would, yeah.
Anyway, that is a fucking amazing match right there. I'm looking forward to that one. It's going to be short.
Yeah, it's short and
No matter
baseball.
who wins, it's going to be short.
True.
I don't know, man. Las Vegas betting odds on that one and stuff like that. If you wanted to not spend a lot of money to win a lot of money, you know what I mean?
Hey, for every $1 you put down on Jimmy Controversy, you win $3,000.
Yeah, no shit. That's awesome. All right, what's the second match?
That's probably the biggest mismatch of the whole tournament, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So the next match is Adrian Knight versus Starman.
Okay, interesting. Starman, resilient, older. Haven't seen much of him lately. Hasn't been impressive in Phase 2 at all. other than he interfered in a lot of the matches with the superpowers with Hayabusa and Slender, and managed to let them squeak by in some six-man tags with the Butchers and shit last year. But that was about the extent of what he did. Adrian Knight, is Adrian Knight a B-plus player?
Right now, yeah. I think he can't get through the glass ceiling.
These harsh comments that I baited Eddie Stank into saying in front of other people.
Well,
but I know you're
I
know you're an AJ the Giant fan, Eddie Stank. So I mean, I understand your point of view. You know, I mean, I understand the continuity.
I have my loyalty.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see the semi-main.
So the semi-main event is the Skinny Wolf versus Little Bitch Ass.
That's a good fucking match right there. The violence and cunning of a guy like the Skinny Wolf who will take a cheap shot. He will use brass knucks to knock you out. It would be like the one bullet punch that, I mean, again, I cannot stress to you just what an amazing moment it was in wrestling history where Ron Awesome stabbed him in the face 27 times, dominated him, did not even give the Skinny Wolf a single punch to land. If there was a punch, it was one. If that, right? The entire match. Otherwise, the rest of the match was Skinny Wolf being stabbed in the face. And Skinny Wolf pulled into his tights, pulled out a pair of brass knucks, and fucking knocked Ron Awesome out in one punch. You know what I mean? He's that kind of resourceful. But so was Little Bitch Ass. And your boy AJ the Giant certainly would know all about that, wouldn't he?
I would, yes. Little Bitch Ass is a menace to society.
Yeah. He's an upset king, and both guys are I mean, the legend of the Skinny Wolf far supersedes Little Bitch Ass in anything that he's ever accomplished. But point of fact is that Little Bitch Ass has carved his own niche in wrestling history, as unique as it is, because he was the original guy with no fucking attribute points, and the Wolf used to be him back in the day, though. That was the thing. The Skinny Wolf's pendulum swing upwards was a long, steady ascent to the top of the MVWF, where at one point he had taken over the MVWF. You know, I mean, the Skinny Wolf is no fucking joke, but he started off as a jobber, a nobody, a nothing. And he left the WWF for a while. They never put him on TV. Him and another guy named Laconia Luke, who's been gone for a long, long time now, probably since the 64 days. And, but when he came back with a vengeance and stuff. And the Skinny Wolf is just, he's next level guy, man. He is he's a final boss in the MVWF.
True.
And I mean, he also fucking shit. I dropped the controller. Are you still there?
Skinny Wolf's a legend. Yeah, I'm still there.
All right. So hopefully we're still broadcasting. So yeah, I mean that's a fucking amazing match right there. Now, moving right along, just to kind of like pitch you the ball here, to set up for your main event reveal. It's for you to choose whatever the next match is to be the main event over the Skinny Wolf versus Little Bitch Ass. Better be a pretty big fucking match. Shoot, go.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Okay.
The headlining match in this bracket is MVWF champion Ryan Crawford versus Ron Supreme.
Oh, big, long-time rematch. Now, that's bringing up an old feud right there. And a feud that was pretty handily won in a very convincing fashion by G-Man Ryan Crawford. The last match that these two guys had, I watched recently, where they brawled all through the crowd, ended up to the right of the stage. Crawford powerbombed his ass on the concrete, laid Ron Supreme out. He has not been the same since. And now here he is, just by chance, with a chance at redemption here. Which with Crawford as champion, Ron Supreme would never have any access to him.
That is true. This is his chance to knock out the champion and get his shot.
Yeah.
Not an easy bracket to do it, though.
No. He's definitely got. I mean, but on the converse side of all of that is that Ron Supreme is not a favorite, which is something that he's kind of not used to being with the Terminator arm and all.
You never know, though. That's the great thing about a tournament. You never know who's going to win.
Right. Okay, so we've got what that's wraps up event number 3, correct? Of
Number 2.
That's 2.
We've done 2.
Okay, all right. Well, let's move on to number 3. What is the opening match for event number 3 in the Super 32 tournament?
So match number 3, or number 4 in event 3.
Okay.
It's local talent versus Walker.
Well, you know what? I like this one because it's going to pretty much guarantee that Walker gets a win. But you know what? I'm going to say that if Walker doesn't win this match, his career is in fucking jeopardy. It is
lost the local talent.
Yes, and I'll tell you what. I mean, well, he's lost to just about everybody he's faced. And
No, who's lost to local talent.
yeah. And if he loses to local talent here in the opening round of this tournament, if he doesn't make some headway here and get something out of this tournament, I've always said it is possible to wash out of the MVWF. And we've had lots of guys do it.
He'll be gone as fast as he came in.
Yep. Have you seen the Chronic Avenger Rich Newell lately?
I have not recently.
No.
But he is another one that has bounced out.
Yeah, and Rich Newell is a former MVWF champion. Just saying. All right, what is match number 2 in event number 3?
Match number 3 in event number 3.
Okay.
Is King Slender versus CM Punk.
Alrighty then. Didn't see that one coming.
Neither did I.
Yeah. We brought CM Punk back from wrestling so that he could wrestle King Slender and possibly lose to him. Maybe if
he's coming back.
Maybe I'll put Mickey Gall at ringside with King Slender.
There you go. Well, CM Punk made an appearance at a wrestling event in Milwaukee last weekend.
Yeah.
So, I understand that's a mismatch right there. I think Punk should take that one, but
yeah,
you never know.
Yep.
But anyway, moving on.
Okay.
The number 2 match in that bracket is Arn Patrick versus Nick the Destroyer.
Okay. All right. Oh, well, by the way, Arn Patrick and Nick the Destroyer Jackson, they fought each other quite a bit in that 6-man tag with the Jackson boys against Arn Patrick and the Kingdom of Nightmares a couple weeks back. Had an amazing 6-man tag team match where both Nick and Arn Patrick stood out quite a bit in that match. And here they is. They collide once again. What do you think?
You know what? I don't put anything past Nick. I'm thinking Nick can go out there and have a great match, or he can go out there and lay a stinker.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be an interesting match.
Yep. And
the light edge on experience goes Nick.
Yeah. Arn Patrick, I would say, has that kind of like skinny wolf quality to him, where like he's got that clothesline that he likes to use, and he seems to be crutching on it a little bit here as he extends his career into the depths of the MVWF, and now. He's got to have to prove himself to be more than a one-punch guy, a one-move guy and stuff. He's shown a lot of spirit, that's for certain, eliminating the Shadow King and MC Honky Lips, the tag team champions, all by himself in the Royal Rumble a couple of weeks back. What do you think Arn Patrick's chances are?
I think he's going to have to go out a lot of damage to Nick. Nick can take a lot of damage to survive. As we've seen in some of those tag matches between the King of the Nightmare.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, well, moving right along, what is the main event?
The main event of this one is 2 heavyweights. It's AJ the Giant versus Whiteside.
In the main event?
In the main event.
Well, you know what? That is just fucking perfect, because I'll tell you what, there was that match last year. AJ the Giant thumped him. Whiteside made a lot a lot of time for AJ the Giant during those legendary six-man tags a couple of months ago, back in February. And it almost seemed like Whiteside was trying to re-spark the feud between AJ and himself. And here it is, now by fate, they meet in the first round of this tournament. And I think this one match I'm going to go on, stick my neck out, and I'm going to make a prediction. Are you ready for this prediction?
All right, yep. Here's your prediction.
Okay. I think that based off of what we've seen out of both guys as of late, I'm saying Whiteside pulls off the upset. Whiteside has been poised and primed to take that step up the rung in the ladder, and here he is. He has a chance with AJ, a guy who's been hitting his head on the glass ceiling just beneath the main event, or at least just beneath the world title scene in the main event. And I think Whiteside is going to rely on his experience he's going to teach AJ the Giant something he don't know yet. Because he's not that deep into his career. And I think that's what...
But...
You go ahead. The floor is yours.
Well, don't forget the fact that AJ the Giant is a complete tournament wrestler. Has been in the finals of virtually every tournament that we've had in the MVWF.
I've been in the finals?
So don't write off it. Just about.
Yeah.
He's lost every finals, but he's had every finals.
I'll give you that. I will give you that. But
experience may overrule history.
Yep. Because Whiteside...
That's going to be that's going to be a heavyweight match. That's going to be a close bet.
Absolutely. All right. So, the fourth and final event. What is the opening match?
The final bracket of them is Uppercuts versus Kid Christian in the first match.
Okay. Yeah.
Not an overly exciting match, but...
I mean, if history is any... Uppercut is a tough guy. And perhaps maybe something in this match will give us some kind of clue as to where Uppercut and Fisticuffs have been through all year. You know, I mean, they haven't been at the Brandon Bones side like they were last year. And he's got himself a guy who's known for pulling off of his upsets, but boy, is it hard to imagine a guy as iron-jawed and just upper body strength and power moves like the suplexes. It's hard to imagine the small, frail body of a guy like Kid Christian absorbing a lot of that impact for very long.
Yeah, I think this is it's the very one.
Yeah. I mean, as spirited as that guy is, you know, and as much as sometimes he's let things get to his head, I mean, he thinks he's on some kind of hot streak because Brandon Bones has promised him some unique opportunity sometime in the indiscriminate near future. You know, I mean, it's like, who really knows where Kid Christian is really at? Because, I mean, he's not on some kind of hot streak right now. You know, he really didn't exploit beating Ron Awesome the way he did. You know what I mean? Like, he ended up embroiled in a feud with his tag team partners again. And while he managed to get by them, he's just been kind of like hanging in the wind to try and figure out what this fucking opportunity is going to be.
Well, Kid Christian is going to be waiting a while because Brandon Bones no longer runs the MVWF.
That's right.
So his opportunity probably just went out the wayside. So somehow Brandon Bones can wrestle.
No. Anything that was true before the shift of power and stuff, none of that changes and stuff. I mean, it's not like fucking because, you know, I mean, the Shadow King and MC Honky Lips won the tag team titles like a half an hour after I lost power and shit, right? But, you know, there is there is regime change in that. You know, there has to be a passing of the baton, so it's not like the League of Shadows are going to be stripped of the tag team titles just because they won them on my watch. So Kid Christian's his unique opportunity
when did Damien Andrews take over the MVWF?
He didn't. He's out of the fucking League of Shadows. But I'm just stating that in the rules of things, of the contracts and stuff like that, yeah.
No, I know, but you keep pointing out when I lost control, but I didn't know Damien Andrews ever had control.
Oh, well, fuck you. You were in the first round of the tournament, asshole. Eddie Steak, motherfucker. Kayfabe. Just if you fuck up kayfabe, just keep moving. Just keep moving and fake it till you make it.
Anyways, moving on to the next match.
Yeah. Uppercut's gonna beat the shit out of Kid Christian. The end. All right, go ahead.
Speaking of Ron Awesome, he will be fighting Mr. Nightmare.
That's a good match, man. I think that's a really good match.
That's a decent match.
Yeah. Ron has been super spirited. He's been stealing the show lately. He's had a lot of ups and downs. Ron Awesome has been the foundation of the undercard of the MVWF this year. I mean, his match.
He's got a decent bracket to move up.
Yeah,
so.
And his matches, his feud with Kid Christian, his feud with Doyle, his feud with the Wolf, all have been fucking excellent matches. And Ron Awesome is a guy, win or lose right now, who's on the upswing. And
should be a good match.
Yeah. Mr. Nightmare has shown a lot of promise.
Yeah, he's improved.
Yeah, he's competent. Let's put it that way. I mean, he makes a lot of mistakes.
I'm excited about this next match, Damien.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
The next match I'm excited to see. It's Kenny Omega versus Kyle.
Ooh, that is a good match. I mean, obviously, I think I'm a little bit more familiar with Kenny Omega and his style than maybe you are, but I can see those two. I mean, having a styles clash that they can find some way to make it mesh, to really get a good solid match,
I think it's a good co-main event.
Yeah.
I do.
Alrighty.
I don't know which way to go on that one. But in your headlining match, speaking of Ron Awesome's feud, Ryan Doyle is fighting Hector.
Okay, you know what? I don't necessarily see that match being bigger than the one prior to it and stuff, but if it's a co-main event and stuff, then that's just the way the ball bounces right there. Only because Hector has been somewhat absent from the singles division, lately.
True, but I mean, I'm looking into the context that Ryan Doyle is defending tag champ. He's got the clout he deserves for number one spot.
No, the story of that match right there is that Hector is the kind of guy to go out there when he's kind of down on his luck, which Hector oftentimes is. And he, say last year when he went into the B1 Climax tournament and stuff, he was not a favorite in the tournament at all. And he decided to make his fucking mark in a very different way. He made his mark going out there and hurting guys. He went out there and
going out there and pile driving Ryan Crawford out the ring.
Yeah, he completely derailed the MVWF Champions B1 Climax tournament run when he was on an undefeated streak. And here it is, we find ourselves in a scenario where we already know that Ryan Doyle is injured right now. The two Jacksonians he took off the top rope from Kyle Empire and Nick the Destroyer Jackson, I mean, just crushed Doyle. And it was right before that match that the report came out about Doyle's injury. But he's cleared to wrestle. And I don't know if the same people who are clearing Ryan Doyle to wrestle are the same people who piss tested Brandon Bones fucking a few weeks back. We got to wonder about the fucking legitimacy of the New Hampshire State Athletic Commission and stuff like that, and the two faces that they show, and the inconsistency that they show for the concern of the performers of the MVWF, whereas Brandon Bones seems to be fucking pinpointed and penalized for these small infractions while they turn a blind eye to the toil of a main event. What, just because Ryan Doyle is a solidified main event wrestler, they can't let him go, or they're gonna give him the Randy Orton rule? Are you kidding me? How many fucking piss tests did Randy Orton fail, and he was still on the roster without a suspension? Lots of them.
When did David Andrews become a Brandon Bones supporter?
So as soon as I got kicked out of the fucking League of Shadows. Moments ago. This has been an entertaining show.
You are.
Okay.
So, Steven, I gotta ask you, who do you think comes out of each bracket? In your opinion.
Review real quick. What was the first show?
The first show is Turbotron vs. Panther.
Yep.
Q vs. Hockey Lips. Bones versus Fisticuff. Welch versus Holly.
Rock Holly beats Kevin Welch. What's the semi-main?
Bones versus Fisticuff.
Oh, Brandon Bones versus Fisticuffs?
Yes.
Fisticuffs. I mean, I'm a Brandon Bones supporter now, but he's not winning that match. I think we're gonna find out we're gonna find out in that match why the VWA hasn't been around.
We will.
Yeah.
Q versus Honky Lips.
Honky Lips.
Turbotron versus Panther.
Turbotron.
Honky Lips versus Turbotron.
Honky Lips.
Fisticuff versus Holly.
Well, fuck it. Rock Holly. It's gonna be the League of Shadows in the quarterfinals.
All right, so you think Rock Holly wins that bracket then? Because you think he defeats Turbotron?
No, I think Honky Lips beats Turbotron, and Honky Lips faces Rock Holly, and then Rock Holly defeats Honky Lips.
Oh yeah. Okay, so Rock Holly wins bracket C.
Yep.
All right, so let's see bracket B. Shadow King versus Jimmy Controversy.
You know, I want to make a lot of money right now, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to bet on Jimmy Controversy so I can make a lot of money and win that bet. You know, $1 versus every dollar for fucking $3,000. You know what I mean? I could retire.
Hey, you go with who you think.
Yeah, and I'm free of the League of Shadows, so I can do whatever the fuck I want now.
You can, so pick a guy.
Shadow King. Sorry.
Okay.
Right now, I think
the
League of Shadows, as it stands, I mean, with Rock Holly, Honky Lips, and the Shadow King, they are unstoppable at this point. Next match.
All right. Adrian Knight versus Starman.
Adrian Knight.
Kenny Wolf versus LDA.
Little bitch ass.
Doyle versus Hector. Oh, sorry, no. Crawford versus Rob Freedom. Sorry.
Crawford.
Crawford versus LDA.
Crawford.
Knight versus Shadow.
Shadow King.
Shadow King versus Crawford.
Yes! This is what I want. Shadow King.
Okay. Local Talent versus Walker.
Walker.
Punk versus Splendor.
Punk.
Arn Patrick versus Nick.
Arn Patrick.
AJ versus Whiteside.
Whiteside. I already made that prediction, but Whiteside, yeah.
Whiteside versus Patrick.
Whiteside versus Patrick? That's how it lands?
Yep.
Oh, it's a hard one. Arn Patrick.
Okay. Punk versus Walker.
Punk.
Punk versus Patrick.
I'm going Arn Patrick.
Okay.
He's my dark horse. He's my dark horse of the tournament.
Okay. Uppercut for Kid Kirsten.
Uppercut, obviously. Yeah, he's gonna crush him.
Nightmare versus Ron Austin.
Mr. Nightmare. Upset victory. Upset. Come from behind. Upset victory.
Okay. Kyle versus Omega.
Kenny Omega.
Doyle versus Hector.
Hector's gonna murder him, but Doyle's gonna pull it out at the last second.
Okay. Doyle versus Nightmare.
Mr. Nightmare. There won't be anything left of Doyle after that.
All right. Omega versus Uppercut.
Who?
Omega versus Uppercut.
Oh man, it's like the Brandon Bones, wet dream match right there. Omega. Oh, that hurts.
Omega versus Nightmare.
Mr. Nightmare.
Nightmare versus Crawford. Oh, sorry. Nightmare versus Shadow. Sorry.
Shadow King.
Holly versus Arn Patrick.
Arn Patrick.
Shadow King versus Arn Patrick.
Yes! That is a great finals. Shadow King. I don't think
you have Shadow King winning the tournament.
Yep.
Okay. We'll see how it goes.
Now, we're going to wrap this up now. I mean, do you want to just, do you have a finalist winner? Do you have a winner that you want to predict?
I do.
Yeah? Okay, go ahead.
Yep. I think Cube wins.
Cube. All right. And
the most randomest pick I could come up with.
Yeah? Did you just, throw a dart at a bunch of pictures or something and a bunch of names on a wall?
No, I think Ross Holly doesn't get past Kevin Welch. I think Bones and Welch beat each other up. So Welch defeats Bones, and I think Cube gets an easy pass. He just has to beat either the winner of Turbotron and Panther and the wounded Bones and Welch.
Right.
And then there's not a whole lot. No, I think Cube has a shot. He's a good tournament guy. He won Money in the Bank last year.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it.
All righty. Well.
Doesn't mean it's going to work out that way, but hey, you went with Shadow King, a guy who's got 100 attributes. That was a hard challenge. Way to be risky.
Yeah, but you know what though? Just in the sequence of things, I didn't see the just the way the path. I mean, because I plotted my path as I went when you were asking me, all of those things there, and everybody that seemed to line up in front of the Shadow King just didn't. I couldn't see them beating him. Now, if it had been,
I think Shadow King's out in the first round of Jimmy Controversy. I'll take that bet.
Okay. All right, that's Eddie Stank. You have some balls. I'll give you that, man. I guess, mate. You know what? I played it safe. I played it safe. I went with what I thought I knew. I mean.
I think you still are kicking butts in the Shadow King after you got booted out. You're trying to get back in.
Fuck you. All right, folks. I guess so. All right, folks.
I'm looking forward to the tournament now.
Yes. It's going to basically take over the MVWF for the next couple of weeks. One of the things that I do have kind of planned is that I'm going to try and get this whole event over with in 2 weeks if I can. Or maybe two and a half weeks. So there's going to be multiple events during the week or whatever and stuff, because with 4 matches and stuff, I can bang an event out in 45 minutes to an hour. Because I'm not doing entrances and shit like that. There are victory animations and shit like that, and I'll put my commentary in that. But the tournament is going to be blistering in comparison to the B1 Climax last year, which I understand it was a long-ass tournament, and boy, was I tempted to do another one this year, but, that's just how the ball bounces.
Well, that was Brandon Bones' original plan, but then he got popped and it got dropped in my lap.
That's
so
right.
I'm not doing it.
That's right. It was, again, the New Hampshire State Athletic Commission that these were punitive damages that took control out of Brandon Bones' hands to do the Super 32 tournament and put it in the hands of Eddie Stank.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
And I've got to give you credit. I mean, the first round looks amazing, and hopefully, some of these guys that are returning to the MVWF to fill these slots are going to be up to the task to to make this an exciting tournament, just like they did last year.
Yeah. We shall see. Time will tell.
Alrighty. Well, folks, for Eddie Stank, I am Damian Andrews. And we are out.